Hello children, welcome you all to the English lesson. Today you all are going to learn how to extract specific information from a simple text. To begin with, let me take you all to the world of animals. Look at the screen. See whether you all can identify these animals. Can you name them? Yes, there is a lion, the elephants, and you have the blue whale, the dolphin, the panda, the koala bear, the polar bear, and the sea turtle. There is one common thing that I want to tell you about all these animals. Do you know about them? These animals, all these animals that you can see on this slide are in the list of endangered animals. Do you know the meaning of the word endangered? Yes, their number is going down day by day. And if we, the humans, do not take necessary actions to protect them, they will disappear from this earth very soon. So, we are going to read about these animals more. Let's look at the first activity. In the first activity, I am going to show you another picture of an animal. See whether you can identify the animal first. Yes, of course, you all know him. It is the koala bear, right? So, I am going to give you a text for you all to read, a simple text on koala bear. So, what are you going to do with this? You have to read it and then you have to find some information. So, these are the information that you need to find. After reading the text, you have to tell me the appearance of the koala bear, the diet of the koala bear, the threats and the habitat. Now, when we say the appearance of the koala bear, that means how it looks like. And then when we say diet, you have to tell me what the koala bear eats. And then when it comes to threats, you have to find out the dangers that they face. And when you talk about the habitat, you have to tell me after reading the text where they live, the place. Okay. Are you all ready? Yes? Now remember what you need to find out from the text. The first one is the appearance, how it looks like. The second one is the diet. The third one is the threats. And the last one is habitat. There are 4 things that you need to find. Are you all ready? Right. Here is the text for you. Read the text and try to find out the information. All right. I hope you all have found out the information. So, let's take one by one. Were you able to find out the appearance? Look at the first sentence. Koala is a small animal with grey to brown colored fur with a white underbelly. So, if you have written that, if you have found that information, you are correct. That describes the appearance of the koala bear. But before we move on to the second one, let me know the words that helped you to find out that information. Can you tell me the words that helped you to find out the information? Yes, very good. So, I have found out 2 words there. One is fur, the other one is belly. Fur means the tiny little hair that grows on the skin of the animal, and belly means the tummy or the stomach. So, both these words talk about the parts of the body of the koala bear. So, that is something connected to the appearance. Very good. So, my dear children, when we practice extracting information from specific information from a given text, you need to understand that it's really important for us to identify the clues as well. Within the text, there are clues given. So, let's practice how to find out clues in order to find specific information. Let's move on to the next one. The next one is for you to find out the place that they live. Habitat. I told you, habitat means the place they live. So, you can find the same verb in the text, the verb live. Look at the second sentence. Koalas live in the eucalyptus forests of southern and eastern Australia. So, that is the answer. It's the place where they live. And the third one, their diet, what they eat. The word diet is there in the text itself. The word diet itself is there in the text, so that it is easy for us to identify the information. Let's read that. Leaves of eucalyptus trees make up most of their diet. So, what do they eat? They eat the leaves of eucalyptus trees. So, you can take that as the information which fits to the diet of the koala bear. Then the last one, the threats they face, right? So, look at the last line, habitat loss due to clearing forest, traffic accidents and dog attacks are the major threats to koala's survival. So, in the text, we are given 3 types of threats that they face. Number 1, loss, their habitat loss. Number 1 is habitat loss. Number 2 is traffic accidents, and number 3 is dog attacks. Hope you all have found out the correct answers. Now, let's make it very clear with the completed map here. Just look at this. Okay, right. Now, we are going to move on to a new activity. Even in this activity, you are going to read a text. Can you remember? We are practicing how to extract necessary information from a given text. So, let's look at the next activity. Activity 2. In this time also, in this activity also, you are going to read the text, but the activity is different. After reading the text, what you have to do is different. Here, you are asked to complete a table. Look at the instruction. Read the descriptions and complete the table. Now, my dear children, whenever you get a reading text like this, please remember, first you have to set a target for reading. You should understand, why am I reading this text? Without a purpose, we don't read. So, always when you are given a text like this, first look at the activity. By looking at the activity, you can set the purpose for your reading. So, that is why we always look at the activity before coming to the text. In this table, they ask you to find out 3 types of information. Look at the 3 columns. First one, you have to find out the name of the animal, and in the second one, the habitat. Now, you know the meaning. What is it? The place where they live. And the third one, reasons. Reasons for being endangered. In simple terms, threats. What are the threats that they face? All right. And the other thing, I have given you 2 rows. What does that mean? You guessed that correctly. Good. Yes, of course, there are 2 animals mentioned in this text. So, are you all ready now for the next activity? Hope so. Here is the second text. Now, this is the time for you to read the text and find out the information required. All right now, since these are 2 short texts, I hope you all have found out the information. Can we check your answers now? Okay, let's see. I am going to take the first text first. So, what is the name of the animal given there? That is the simplest question, right? It's given as the heading. So, the text is about the polar bears, right? And then they want to know the place they live, the habitat. What is it? Can you remember the clue? Yes, you can find the verb live in the text. So, the answer is they live across the Arctic in Canada, Alaska, Greenland, Russia, Denmark and Norway. And what about the threats? Look at the last line. Not the last, one before the last. They are the first animals to be threatened. Now look at that verb, threatened, because of global warming. So what is the reason mentioned there? So the threat they face is the global warming. Correct? Okay, job well done. Now look at the next activity. Next text, the same activity, the next text. So what is the name given there to the animal? The text is about blue whale. And where do they live? The habitat? Okay, did you find that? Yes, they live in all the oceans. Now, if you write only that part, can I accept it as the correct one? No, I don't think so. Why? Because you have to read more and see, because the sentence is not over, it's not over there, right? You have to read more. There they say they live in all the oceans except the polar seas. What does that mean? They live in all the oceans, but not in the polar seas. They are not living in the polar seas, but in all the other oceans. Is that clear? I hope so. Right. And then the threats. Look at the last line. Global warming also harms blue whales. Now there you have the word also. That means you have another threat. Let's read the previous one as well. They have become endangered due to being hunted. Global warming also harms blue whales. So there are two threats given there. One is hunting, the other one is global warming. Is that clear? Okay, to make it very clear, now look at the completed table. You all can be happy now since you all have found out the correct answers. Okay children, now we are moving on to a new activity, activity 3. Once again, let me remind you of what we are practicing. We are practicing how to extract specific information from a simple text. So this is activity 3. Now in this activity actually we are going to read about turtles, sea turtles. Now according to the people who study about sea turtles, there are very many varieties of sea turtles in the ocean. But in this activity we are going to read only about one, that is a green sea turtle. All right. So what is the activity? Now there you have to read the text that I am going to give you, and then you have to do a different action. That is, you have to read the given statements and mark right or wrong against the statements. Is that clear? Now you are familiar with two symbols, right and the cross. Isn't that so? Right. Okay. Green sea turtle. Now look at the statements. Green sea turtles are found near coral reefs. So you have to mark it right or wrong based on the information that you get from the text. Next one, green sea turtles are carnivorous. Is it a new word? carnivorous? That means they eat only flesh or meat. Carnivorous is that. And then green sea turtles eat crabs. You have to find out. Read the text and see. And the last one, hunting is a great threat for green sea turtles. So there are 4 statements, and once again I am going to remind you, when can you write, when can you mark it right? When the statement is true or when the statement is correct. When can you mark the cross? When the statement is incorrect or the information given in the statement is false, right? Okay. Now this is the time for you to read the text and do the activity. All right, children, were you able to mark it correctly? Let me check now, right? The first one, green sea turtles are found near coral reefs. To find out whether the information is correct, I am going to read the text. The green sea turtle is one of the largest sea turtles found in tropical and subtropical waters throughout the world. They are normally found near coral reefs and shallow lagoons. So, what can you say about this statement? Very good, excellent. The statement is correct. So, you have to mark it correct. Put a tick. And the second one, green sea turtles are carnivorous. I told you the meaning of the word carnivorous. We will see. Green sea turtles are herbivores. Do you know the word herbivores? Doesn't matter if you do not know. Let it go, just read and see to get an idea. There may be lots of other clues. Green sea turtles are herbivores, feeding mainly on seagrasses and algae. Do you know the word grass? If you know the word grass, these 2 statements are really easy. So, can we call them carnivorous? Carnivorous animals? No, they are herbivores. So, this is wrong. And the other one, green sea turtles eat crabs. If they eat only grass and algae, do they eat crab? It's not given in the text, right? It's not given in the text. Therefore, this is wrong. And then the last one, hunting is a great threat for green sea turtles. Now, again we have to read. Green sea turtles are threatened by over-harvesting of their eggs, hunting of adults, being caught in fishing gear, and loss of nesting beach sites. Now see, the same thing is given, hunting of adults. Therefore, the last statement is also correct. All right. Do you want me to show you how I have marked it? Let's see. All right. The next activity, activity number 4. Again, you are going to read about another endangered animal and do a different type of an activity. We will see what it is. Now, in this text, you are going to read about sea otters. You have to read the text and then you have to complete the given sentence. Look at the sentence first. Sea otters are at a great risk of extinction because of, right? So, you have to find out the reasons. How many reasons that you have to find out? I have given the number 5. So, all right, now here is the text for you. Just see whether you can find out the 5 reasons. It's a short, simple text. Can we check your answers? See whether you were able to at least find out 2, 3 out of these 5 within the given limited time. All right. Okay, if you have not written, please write them down. Now, we are moving on to the last activity. In this activity, once again you are going to read about one endangered animal, that is giant panda, and then you are asked to answer these questions. There are 4 questions given. All these are WH questions. You all know that, being grade 11 students, right? So, read the text and find out the answers. Let me go through these questions. Number 1, where do giant pandas live? Now, you know the term habitat. What keeps giant pandas warm? You have to find out the item that makes the giant panda warm. And what do they eat? The diet. And what is the main threat they face? Now, you are very familiar with the vocab, so that it's really simple for you, I know. Here is your text. Now, with this text, you can't remember the questions that you have to find out. Therefore, I have placed them together. You have the text and the questions. This is the time for you to find out the answers. All right, let's look at the answers. Where do giant pandas live? In mountain ranges in China. And what keeps giant pandas warm? Thick woolly coat. What do they eat? Were you able to find that out? Bamboo, we know that, right? It's our general knowledge. But there are some other things that you have to include into that. Not only bamboo, according to the text, grasses and small rodents. Rodents means some small animals like mice, squirrel, kind of. And then what is the main threat pandas face? That is the loss of habitats. Okay, I hope you all have done it well. It's a good job, right? Now, I know this should be practiced. How to extract information, specific information from a text should be practiced. So, let me summarize what we have done in this lesson, today's lesson. We actually learned how to extract specific information from a simple text, and to practice that I did several activities, actually 5 activities. The first one is read and complete a mind map. The second one, read and complete a table. Third one, read and mark right or wrong. Fourth one, read and complete sentences. And the fifth one is read and answer the questions. Now, for you, now these days you are at home, so leisurely you can take out your textbook, and in Unit 4, Activity 11, page number 45, you can do question number 2, Roman number 2. So, once again you will be able to practice this extracting specific information from a simple text. Right. So, with that we have come to the end of today's lesson. Hope you all have enjoyed the time with me. Hope to see you soon. Goodbye.
Hello children. It's nice to meet all of you today. In today's lesson, we will be discussing on adjectives. To start up with our lesson, I will be showing you a brochure. The brochure is on Sri Lanka. Let us see the screen now. Yes, it's all about our beautiful Sri Lanka, the beautiful country that we live in. Let us go through the text sentence by sentence. Are you ready? Yes, I'm ready. Hope you are ready too. Sri Lanka. The island of the Indian Ocean has become a popular holiday spot for many people around the world. Sri Lanka is an enchanting island with its ancient cities, and monuments, sacred shrines, national parks, misty mountains, vast tea plantations, equatorial jungles, sandy beaches, and the delightful warmth of its welcoming people. Yes, Sri Lanka has welcoming people. All Sri Lankans are welcoming. So, while you were reading this text, what information were you able to get from it? What were the special words that made you focus about Sri Lanka? There were some words that were specially used to describe Sri Lanka. Yes, according to our lesson today, these are adjectives. Adjectives are used to describe nouns. And in today's lesson, we will be seeing how adjectives are used to describe places. Let us go to the next slide. All right, children? Yes. Now you can see a few words highlighted in red. You can go through these words and let us all read the highlighted words. Indian, popular, enchanting, ancient, sacred, national, vasty, equatorial, sandy, delightful, welcoming. These are some special words used to describe Sri Lanka, and these words are called adjectives. And I am sure most of you know about adjectives as you have been learning this in your previous grades. And now let us go to our next activity. Go to the screen. Yes. The next activity. It is about why adjectives? Why do we learn adjectives? Yes, if you do want to describe something in a very special way, we make use of adjectives. For example, I have taken two adjectives to give you further information. The first one is popular holiday spot. What do you understand by the word popular? Yes, popular means it's well liked. Everyone likes Sri Lanka because it's a popular country. And then it's admired. Yes, Sri Lanka is admired for its natural beauty. The beaches, the mountains, the tea estates, the waterfalls, everything is natural in Sri Lanka. And therefore, it's admired and it's popular. And then you have enjoyed by many. Sri Lanka's natural beauty is enjoyed by many around the world. And then there is another one called Enchanting Island. Yes, enchanting means attractive. It attracts you wherever you go. Maybe it's the coastal islands or the coastal areas or the hilly places. It is very enchanting. And enchanting means attractive, charming and appealing. You feel like visiting these places over and over. So these are adjectives. They are very simple, children, these adjectives that you use day to day in your life to describe different places, different things, to tell them very specially in a very special way. And now let's see what's next in our slide. Yes. Now here we are having a simple text to fill in the blanks. And it is to fill in the blanks with the correct adjectives. Take your time, get prepared with your books and your pens, or maybe you are prepared already. Alright, let us see the words that are given in the activity. It's green, wildlife, yes, you can join me in reading, sunny, beautiful, old, holy, widespread, tropical and friendly. Hope that you all know the meanings. Maybe if you do not know, don't worry, we'll be learning everything clearly and I will be clearing all your doubts today. And then let's start. You can read after me. Those who would like to write this, you can take down your note. Sri Lanka is a beautiful island with its blank cities and monuments, blank shrines, blank parks, blank mountains, blank tea plantations, blank jungles, blank beaches, and its blank people. So now what you have is a different set of adjectives that you can use to fill in the gaps. And I will give you some time while you are going through this. Take your time. Yes, I am sure now you are ready with your answers. Let us check with the answers on the screen. Alright, let us see how many get all correct. Okay, the happy ones are the ones who get all correct, but do not worry. It's learning. So, learning has mistakes. Let's go through the answers. Sri Lanka is a beautiful island with its old cities and monuments, holy shrines, wildlife, parks, green mountains, widespread tea plantations, tropical jungles, sunny beaches, and its friendly people. And I hope that you all got all correct. Maybe not, but no worries, children. By the end of the lesson, you will be doing very well. Okay, switching on to the next slide. Okay, let us see. Yes. Now, as you are familiar with an activity, now we have another activity and I'll be helping you to read the words endemic, quiet, many, migrant and green. These are some of the adjectives which you can use to fill in the blanks. This is a simple text taken about bird watching. Alright, let us go to the screen. Last week, my uncle took me for bird watching. It was a quiet place. There were blank birds. Some were blank birds. The others were blank birds from other countries. They chirped continuously, hiding in blank bushes. I'm sure by this time you must have written all the answers. Alright, let's see how the answers goes. Okay, now to the next slide. Are you happy with your answers? Let us correct. Those who are willing, you can give a tick to your answer and let me see whether you get 5 out of 5 or maybe 1 or 2 mistakes, right? We are going to fill in with the adjectives which are given. Last week, my uncle took me for bird watching. It was a quiet place. There were many birds. Some were endemic birds. The others were migrant birds from other countries. They chirped continuously, hiding in green bushes. Yes, it's very nice watching migrant birds, and it's very nice to see birds chirping. It's very nice to hear them chirping actually, and I hope that you enjoyed this activity about bird watching. And let's skip on to our next activity for the day. Right. Okay. Now we have these words. All right. And then a beautiful picture. So all this while you have been doing activities on filling in the blanks, and now we have a picture that we are going to talk about. What is this picture? Are you familiar about this place? Yes, I think most of you know because you are O-level students. This is a picture of a city. Usually, to describe a city, you have plenty of words. I'm sure that you have many words. I just got 3, and I got busy, crowded, and modern. And then when I saw this city, I looked at the tall buildings, the big buildings. I thought it would be better, rather than saying there are buildings, it would be better to use tall buildings, big buildings, which are said adjectives. They describe this building. All right, let's see what's on our next slide. Okay. Going back to our previous slide. Yes. Now, you have these words, you have the picture. What we are going to do is, we are going to construct some sentences using these adjectives. And I'll show you some examples which will help you to do your further activities. Let's move on to our next slide. Yes. Let's put them in sentences. They are very simple, easy sentences for all of you to grab it very quickly, my dear students. This is a modern city. It's a beautiful modern city. It is a busy city. Usually cities are very busy. You all know that. Okay. And then it is a crowded place. And then let me see whether you can think about another 2 sentences which are used for the buildings. I'm sure it must be most probably related to our sentences here. There are big buildings in the city. They are very tall buildings. Yes, a city has big buildings and tall buildings. So my dear students, what I would like to say here is to get your attention into the highlighted words in red. Can you read with me? Modern, busy, crowded, big and tall. These are special words, said adjectives. We use these adjectives to describe. All right. Now let's see the next challenging activity that we have. Yes. What's coming on? Right. Can anyone guess? Yes? No? All right. Let's see the screen. Okay. Right. There you go. Did you get a clear picture of this? Yes. Not like the city. It's a different place. You see? You don't find any buildings here. You don't see it's busy here. It's not crowded. So here we can use a different set of adjectives. Let's see. When we use an adjective, we always have to take our nouns. Let us get some nouns from our picture. For example, let us say trees, and then we have flowers, and then we have a pond, and then we have a road going. Yes, this is a picture of a park. And let's see how we are going to describe the park. Okay, we could say this is calm and quiet. You see? Let's think about the city, which was busy, noisy sometimes, and here it's calm and quiet. And then we have trees. What is the adjective that you can use which is most related to trees, which can describe trees more? Yes, it's tall. I have chosen tall. And then when we come to flowers, you have plenty of adjectives. So, I have chosen beautiful and colorful. Okay, then for pond, it's small and the road is gravel. So, now we have the picture here and we have the nouns and we also have the adjectives which are most relevant to the nouns. And now let's see how we are going to construct our sentences. Maybe I can give you some time to think about the answers. Right. Okay, let's go to the next slide. Okay. And these are the sentences constructed by me. This is a park. You all are familiar that it is a park. It is a calm and quiet place. There are tall trees in the park. There is a small pond. There are beautiful flowers. There is a gravel road. You know, there is no carpet road. There is no tar road. It is a gravel road. Okay, now take your focus onto the highlighted words. The words in red. Let's all read them together. Calm and quiet, tall, small, beautiful and gravel. So, I am sure that you know these words are adjectives. Okay, moving on to our next slide quickly. Right. Now, this is a bit of a different activity where I have given you a table. Using this table, you have to construct some sentences where we have adjectives as well. Now, I have given you one example. It is an interesting book. And then you have a few more words, adjectives, to construct sentences. And you can do this now. And let's see whether you can have answers as such. Yes, those who have not got the answers, you can write down, and they are ancient kingdoms. It is an interesting book. It is a busy place. It is a sunny day. They are wooden boxes. There are tall buildings. Now, after getting down this, you could always highlight your adjective or underline it with a colored pen. All right? Okay. And then to the next slide, let's see. Now we have spoken about nouns and adjectives, how to describe them. Now we have about Anuradhapura here, a very ancient city, and here are some words which I have taken for you to help you to describe Anuradhapura. They are Buddhist shrines, great pagodas, stone carvings, big tanks, historical value, ancient city. So, using these words, you can make sentences. First of all, you should get down the words which are most related to Anuradhapura city, such as this, ancient city, historical value, Buddhist shrines, great pagodas, stone carvings and big tanks. So, using these words, you can construct your sentences to describe Anuradhapura. And then, this is a sample of a text written about Anuradhapura. You can make use of it. For example, I will read the first line. Anuradhapura is an ancient city. It has a historical value. And so, next, I have brought a structure for you. It's about Nuwara Eliya, and the words, the adjectives closely related to Nuwara Eliya are tea factories, misty mountains, enchanting waterfalls, beautiful flowers, cold climate. So, now as you have learnt about Anuradhapura and how to describe the text, I hope these examples will help you to write a text about Nuwara Eliya. So, for today we have learnt about adjectives and how to describe different places, and also to get practiced you can make use of these topics, a few topics what is on the screen, like my home garden, my village, the place where I like to go, a visit to the zoo. You might come across other places too, and these are some of the topics that I have chosen. You can practice and enjoy, and until we meet for the next lesson, thank you very much and goodbye.